Hello, I'm Crafty Patty, and I'm here today to show you how to make this farmhouse beaded garland. Let's get right to it. The first thing obviously you're going to need is beads, and I found the 3/4 inch beads or the 20mm beads off of Amazon. That's the best place I found for the best price, especially when you buy in bulk. This bag here has got 200 beads in it. I will leave all the links in the description box below so you know where to find these. There's lots of different materials you can use for making your tassels. The one very inexpensive way to make them is to go to your dollar store and look for cooking twine, or also called kitchen twine, and we've got 2 balls in here for only $2. Depending on the company, they all come in a little bit of a different color. You can see this one's a little bit more lighter and this one's a bit darker, so depending on what you like, you can look around. And this one I found from my local hardware store. It's medium cotton twine, and it ends up looking a little bit whiter, so if you want that whiter look, that would be a good choice for you. And I also found fine jute twine from my local hardware store as well. And that will give you a nice rustic look. Another option is you can use your Bernat Handicrafter cotton yarn in any color of your choice. And next you'll want to find something that you can easily thread your beads on your string or your yarn. Obviously it's going to be very difficult to push this loose end through the hole, so what I've chosen to do is this. And these are a heavy size, so you've got a little bit of support on them. There's a little bit twisted wire. And then you just take your string, so you can just fold it over, slide it off, pop it on a nice big eye, and then when this pulls down, it really locks in nicely at the end, so that's not going anywhere. And if you can find a nice long needle with a large eye that you can get your cording through, then that works great too. And then as long as you can get the needle through the hole, then you're good to go. The beaded garland looks absolutely gorgeous in its natural state with just the raw wood, which I love. But maybe you might want to match some of your decor when you've got some gray and black happening. You want to put a little bit of black here and there, which is beautiful. Then you can do that. Or maybe Easter time coming up with spring, you might want to have some pastel colors to put on your table for decorating. Possibly a baby's room, showers, lots of ways to use these for decorating. So I'm going to show you how I use the paints and what paints I chose and how I set up my painting. If you don't want to watch that, then feel free to zoom ahead and we'll get right into making the tassels and how I attach them to the wood beads. The paint I'm using, I did buy from Michael's. This is FolkArt Home Decor, and I'm using the chalk. This isn't for chalk boards, but it makes a chalky look to the actual finished effect, which I like. So I've got some different colors here. I'll write all those colors in the description box below if you want to use exactly the same ones, and you can kind of see what they look like here. If you're thinking about selling these or you want them to hold up a little bit longer, then it is a good idea to use a varnish on them. I will be using the Americana Decor Ultra Matte Varnish. We want the Ultra Matte because we want to keep that nice chalky look. I'm using one of my old storage bins for a painting and a drying rack, which is working out really well. And I'm just taking a kitchen skewer, and I'm using one of my little pop dots that I use for making cards. I'm taking one of those pop dots and I'm just pushing it in, and the reason I'm doing this is then it just gives you a little bit more stability for when you're painting, and it locks it into the end. So then when you place it on the end when you're working on a bead, you can be pulling it and turning, and it's not going to be falling off and doing whatever you don't want it to do. So let's get started and we'll paint a couple beads. So decide what color you want to paint your beads and put on the amount that you want to color or paint. And I'm going to just add the paint directly onto my brush. Then I'm not wasting any paint. So I'm just using my nail to hold it in place on the one direction. Do the next one. Then I'm going to pick up my skewer and put it in the other direction. And it's really nice because with this little stopper, it just gives it more security, and I know I can pull on that and it'll stay put. So I'm going to come back on this side and paint the other side of it. If you're going to paint some more different colors, then of course if you've only got one brush, then go and wash your brush and then just dry it on a paper towel and come back and paint some more beads and paint the amount that you want. And then once they're dry, you can come in and varnish it. They don't take a long time to dry, but these ones are still drying a little bit more. They're still a little bit, you can see the shine on them, so it's still a little bit wet. So let's just take this other one up here that I've painted already, and that's what the varnish looks like. So we'll just dip our clean brush in there and give it a coat of varnish. Again, if you want to go one way and turn it around and get your other side, it's an easy way to get all surfaces covered. And then they'll be well protected. You don't have to do the varnish, but if you're going to sell them or if you're going to give them as gifts, then I would probably varnish them. Okay, so I'm going to continue to color a few more beads, and then I will get back to you and we'll start making those tassels. And I'm going to use the medium cotton twine for this demonstration. You'll need a piece of cardboard cut 5 inches in length. It doesn't really matter about the width, or 12.7 centimeters. Take the end of your string or your yarn, place the end on the bottom of your piece of cardboard, and we're going to wrap your cardboard 50 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and do that 50 times. So I'm figuring out how long I want my garland to be. I'm going to use 50 beads. So obviously that's going to be a little bit more than 50 inches that I need. So I'm going to cut 50 inches plus add another 10 inches for room for tying on our tassel at the end. So I'm going to cut one string at 60 inches, or that would be 153 centimeters. I'm now going to take the string that I've just cut, slip it underneath all my wound pieces of string. I'm going to have this piece of string come down about approximately the same length as my other strands. Now these strands are both up at the top, and I'm going to tie a tight knot on the top here. Just a basic knot. Pull really tight. Now I'm going to come in with my scissors, and I'm going to come down right to the very bottom here, and I'm going to cut my strands. Find the 2 ends that you've used to tie around all your pieces of string, and I want you to come around with your longer piece and go underneath and come up the other side. We're just wrapping around the middle one more time. So now we're going to just tie a knot one more time and make that good and tight. Now your knot is on this side. We can leave this one go. And this is the one we're going to use to start adding on all our beads with. So now we have a nice secure knot that we've tied twice, and here's our end. The other end has become part of our tassel. So now we want to pull these nice and smooth all the way down and just bring these over into the middle as well. So you've got a nice head on the tassel. So once your tassel's nice and smooth and all the strands are straight, place it down, and we're going to cut another piece of string that is 2 feet long or 61 centimeters. Now what you're going to do with that piece of string you've just cut about 2 feet long or 61 centimeters, you're going to take the end of it, place it on the top, extending a little bit above. You're going to loop it around and make a little loop on the bottom here, like so. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start wrapping this around to meet the top of our tassel. So I'm just going to pick this up so I can show you. So there's the loop, there's the end. We're going to start wrapping about 1/2 inch down, or to 1 inch actually. So here's where I'm going to start wrapping right here. So the first wrap is you want it to go fairly tight. So let's bring it around. Now pull this one as tight as you can without disturbing the top of your tassel, because you want it to look nice and smooth. The first couple wraps are the hardest. Make sure you don't lose your loop. Once you've got it secured, then you can come around and do it a little bit tighter. Okay, we're good and secure now. So now we can keep wrapping. And when you do your wrap, keep your cording nice and even. So when you finish the one wrap, bring it down and go right underneath for the next wrap. Try to keep it as smooth as you can, because that will make it look a lot prettier. Okay, so we're just coming around and finding our loop. There's our loop. So we're going to take this little end and we're going to pass it through that loop. There's the loop there. So it's going through the loop. So hold on to that end. Now find your end that was on the top here and pull. So what's going to happen is you're going to be forming a knot inside from you putting that around the loop, and it's going to pull that knot up and inside the rounds, hiding the knot. And then you've got the perfect, beautiful wrap. This one can become part of the tassel, and this one you're going to cut off. So cut it nice and close. If you have any strands in the top here that seem to be a little bit loose, then just come down to the bottom here and see if you can find it. Just might take a couple tries before you get it. That one was one of them. There is another couple. And just pull down and even it out. And when you're happy with all your strands nice and smooth and pulled down evenly, then we can take a piece of masking tape. So I'm going to bring it down to about here. And I'll just lift that up. We'll smooth out all these ends on the other side. And let's wrap that around. So I'm going to cut mine about here. And then you can remove your little piece of masking tape. And you'll have a real nice even tassel. We've now made our first tassel. And now we're going to make one more tassel the same size as this one. So get your boarding in, your 5-inch piece or 12.7 centimeters, and wrap it again 50 times. And again, we're going to slip that one piece underneath, bring it up, and we're going to tie a tight knot. And then we're going to cut off the end. Take it off the board. So just like the first tassel we made, I've taken it off the board, and this is where I've come around and I'm tying my second knot just to make it good and strong and tie it nice and tight. It's a regular knot. Now, the last time we used our long end so we could thread all our beads on. This time we're going to hide the knot because we've got a different way that we're going to attach our tassels to the end of our strand or garland. So this time you can tuck those to the inside, and we're going to fold our knot this way so it hides our knot inside. And let's bring all those ends down so they're nice and smooth. And what I like to do is just kind of squish it a little bit so we've got a little bit of bulk on the side so it's not totally gaping open. And then smooth it all down as smooth as you can get it so you're ready to tie it off and make the head of the tassel. And again, we've got our piece of string that we've cut, which is about 2 feet or 61 centimeters. And again, we're keeping that one piece a little bit up. We're bringing our hand or finger or thumb, whatever, about 1 inch down from the top. We're making that little loop, and that loop comes over. And then we're going to start wrapping around to form the head, securing that loop. So the first one you'll have to go just a little bit looser because otherwise you'll just pull your loop. Once you get around in your second round there, then you can start pulling it and give it a nice tug. And again, you want to match it up with the other one that you've made so you've got this the same depth as your first one. And then when you've got the same depth, then you're going to just pop it through that little loop that you made. And then you can hold on here and you're going to pull with this one and you're going to see that little loop. See it pulling up. We're going to get that so it goes right into the middle there. Pull that up a little bit more till it's hidden underneath. There it is. Okay, so we're going to cut off this end again. Nice and close. And And this end will just get cut off when we trim up our ends here. And you'll have one with the longer string. The longer string is the one you're going to attach your needle to, or the piece of wire, whatever your choice is. So I'm going to use my expandable eyed needle, and we'll just thread this in. And pull it down, and we're ready to start putting on all our beads. When you've got a few beads on, bring that last bead right up so it covers the knot. So continue threading on as many beads as you want. I'm going to put on 50, and then when I've got all my 50 beads on, I'll show you how I attach my other tassel. We've still got the needle on the end of our strands from where we've threaded all our beads on. So now we're going to take this and we're going to catch it underneath that loop, right underneath there. We're going to pull that right up close, as far as you can get to the loop there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come around and go into your loop, and we're going to tie it off with the knot. Pull that really tight, and we'll go around one more time. And pull that really tight again. And now to finish it off, we're going to bring this needle up through this ball, sneak it through the second one if you've got a long enough needle, and I'm going to stop there because I think I can get through 2 but not 3. Pull it good and tight and go through one more bead. And then we're going to cut that off nice and close, give it a good tug, and then pop it off. And then that will just tuck right into the other bead there, and you've got a really nice secure attachment with that last tassel. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching how to make the Farmhouse beaded garland, and I hope I gave you some ideas on fun ways to decorate with using different tassels, different twines, different colors. Change it up how it looks good for your home. And perhaps you don't want to spend the time making them, then I've got an answer for you. Check out Homology on Etsy and you'll be able to buy them from the store. Thanks for watching again. Till next time. Bye-bye.